Surely, in the memory of many people, the image of the sloppy police lieutenant with a crumpled raincoat and a cigar always on his lips has become an immortal symbol. In 1971, the TV series Columbo was released and created a deep impression in the hearts of audiences around the world. With the story of murders in the upper class and the unique way of solving cases of an investigator with an ordinary appearance but extraordinary intelligence. The work was not only an artistic success, but also became an unforgettable part of the memories of an entire generation. But behind those classic characters are actors with very unique fates. 54 years have passed. Time has carved different traces on their lives. Some continue to shine brightly. Some choose a quiet path, and there are also those who had to stop their journey in tragedy. Join us in today's special program to look back at the ups and downs of the cast that made up the soul of Columbo. Peter Falk as Lieutenant Columbo. In Columbo, Lieutenant Columbo is a unique anti-hero. He lacks the dashing good looks and breathtaking action sequences, but he possesses a keen, observational mind and terrifying perseverance. With his somewhat awkward appearance, his catchphrase, "Just one more and his worn-out raincoat," Columbo leaves an indelible impression. Peter Falk, then 44, brilliantly portrayed the intellectual hidden behind the appearance of a vagabond, a sly fox in sheep's clothing. After the resounding success of Columbo, Peter Falk's career skyrocketed. He was not only a TV star, but also a respected film actor with 2 Oscars nominations for his supporting roles in Murder, Inc. and Pocketful of Miracles. However, the shadow of Lieutenant Columbo was too large, and he seemed to spend the rest of his life attached to this character through many seasons and specials that lasted until 2003. Falk's personal life was also colorful. He went through 2 marriages and had 2 adopted daughters. What is most worth pondering is the connection between the role and his life. It seems that the role of Columbo strangely applied to his life. While on the show, he was a talented detective in real life. One of his 2 daughters, Catherine, became a real private detective. It was a miraculous coincidence, as if the character's legacy had been passed down in his own family. However, that glorious journey had to stop quietly. In the last years of his life, Peter Falk had to fight dementia, most likely caused by Alzheimer's, on June 23, 2011. Peter Falk passed away at the age of 83 due to cardiopulmonary arrest, pneumonia, and complications from Alzheimer's disease. His departure left a big void in the hearts of his fans. The legacy he left behind was not only the immortal image of Lieutenant Columbo, but also a life story of a talented artist who devoted himself completely to art. In Columbo, Mike Lally's police photographer character, though not given much screen time, was an integral part of the crime scene. Quietly recording important evidence, Mike Lally's performance at the age of 71 showed the professionalism and composure of a public servant. Born in Manhattan, New York, Mike Lally was a multi-talented artist, both an actor and an assistant director. His career spanned decades with roles in films such as Coma 1978 and How to Be Very, Very Popular 1955. He lived a rather private life devoted to his wife Pauline Wagner. He was a diligent actor, uninterested in fame, simply dedicating himself to his art in every small role. It seemed that the role of the quiet photographer reflected who he was in real life. A hard worker behind the lens, unpretentious but always completing his tasks well. However, that journey of silent dedication also had to stop. On February 15, 1985, Mike Lally passed away at the age of 84 in Woodland Hills, Los Angeles, due to natural causes. His departure may not have been as noisy as that of big stars, but the legacy he left behind was the image of a true artistic worker. Diane Travis as club member. In Columbo, Diane Travis' club member character is just a small blip in the big picture, but her presence adds to the air of upper-class luxury. Diane Travis's performance at age 36 is elegant and regal. After her small role in Columbo, Diane Travis' career continued to flourish, especially on stage. She was an avid horsewoman and horse lover. Her passion for acting was sparked by watching Jennifer Jones in The Song of Bernadette. She honed her talent at the prestigious neighborhood playhouse and had the opportunity to work with big names like Robert Altman. She won a prestigious drama award for her role as M. Lynn in Steel Magnolias. Limited to the stage, she appeared in over 30 television series, including the famous final episode of Seinfeld, and had a memorable scene opposite Donald Sutherland in the original film M.A.S. Her life has been a tireless pursuit of passion. It seems that her fleeting role in Columbo is in complete contrast to her rich and successful career. Today, at 90, Diane Travis lives a quiet life in Southern California with her pets and enjoys riding her beloved horse every day. Her journey is a testament to her relentless drive and undying love for art, and continues to inspire the next generation. Bruce Kirby as Sergeant George Kramer. In Columbo, Sergeant Kramer is an interesting contrast to Columbo. If Columbo is sharp and sophisticated, Kramer is often bewildered and confused by the reasoning of his superiors. Bruce Kirby, then 46, portrayed the image of a diligent but somewhat naive police officer in a realistic and lovable way. Born Bruno Giovanni Guidacciolo, Bruce Kirby was a hard-working supporting actor whose face is recognizable but whose name is hard to remember. Trained at the Actors Studio and had a career spanning over 50 years, mostly on the small screen. He was frequently cast as a cop in popular series, like Kojak Holmes and Yo-Yo, and most notably as lawyer Bruce Rogoff on the hit legal series L.A. Law. He also appeared in countless other hit shows like M.A.S., The West Wing, and The Sopranos. It seems that the role of a police officer has worked strangely into his career. While on film, the character, Kramer, is somewhat incompetent in real life. Bruce Kirby is an extremely successful actor and sought after for law enforcement roles. However, his dedicated journey with acting had to stop. After retiring in 2009, he had peaceful years. On January 24, 2021, Bruce Kirby passed away at the age of 95 due to complications related to leukemia. His departure left behind a grief for those who loved this familiar face of American television. His legacy is hundreds of roles, a testament to a life of tireless artistic work. John Finnegan as Lieutenant Dreyer. In Columbo, the character of Lieutenant Dreyer is one of Columbo's colleagues, a piece that creates the realistic police world of the series. The performance of John Finnegan, then 45, brings solidity and believability. With his early years in Naples, Italy, Vito Scotti seemed born to play Italian roles. He developed his comedic talent in the commedia dell'arte style. His career blossomed in television and film in the 1950s. In addition to acting, he had a great love of cooking, especially his mother's and grandmother's recipes. His life was a symphony of art and food, laughter and warmth. However, the symphony had to come to an end. On June 5, 1996, Vito Scotti passed away at the age of 78 in Woodland Hills, Los Angeles, after a long battle with lung cancer. His passing left a void, but the flavor of his performances and the joy he brought will live on forever. Val Avery, Chungvai Artie Jessup. In the sophisticated criminal world of Columbo, the lieutenant's opponents are not always intellectuals or high-class artists. Sometimes, to peel back the layers of truth, Columbo must venture into the dark alleys of the underworld, facing tough cunning and unpredictable characters. Artie Jessup through. The impressive performance of Val Avery is such a character. At the age of 47, with a wealth of acting experience, Val Avery has breathed into Artie Jessup a soul full of weight. He is not a flashy villain, but an important link in the case. A man of the street with danger and a bit of recklessness. His performance is not simply powerful. It also exudes a scary authenticity, making the audience believe that this is a person who has really experienced life. Someone you would never want to mess with in real life. Born in the industrial city of Philadelphia, Val Avery seems to bring the grit and toughness of his birthplace to every role. He is the perfect definition of an actor's actor, someone who directors trust to play the tough roles characters, who may only appear for a few minutes but shape the entire atmosphere of the film. His career is a map that stretches across the most thorny genres of American cinema. Audiences cannot forget the image of the gruff cowboy in the Western masterpiece, The Magnificent Seven, 1960, or the haunting role in the classic horror film, The Amityville Horror, 1979, or his appearance in the action film, Cobra, 1986, with Sylvester Stallone. He has a special ability to make supporting characters memorable, engraved in the audience's mind with just a look or a line of dialogue. His personal life is an interesting contrast to his on-screen roles. His decades-long marriage to actress Margot Stevenson is a testament to his warmth and stability off-camera, a rarity in Hollywood. Val Avery's greatest legacy is not in the tangible numbers, but in the legacy of his professionalism and an indelible face in the memories of many generations of audiences. He belonged to the golden generation of supporting actors who were the backbone of the film industry, who were the foils for the shining stars, but also became an icon themselves. The flow of time to the present may have introduced new faces, but every time a TV channel re-airs those classic films, people see Val Avery there with his sharp eyes and unmistakable demeanor. However, that tireless journey of dedication finally came to an end. On December 12th, 2009, Val Avery peacefully breathed his last at the age of 85 in Greenwich Village, Manhattan, a place full of art as a tribute to his life. He passed away, leaving behind a huge film legacy, proof that the value of an artist does not lie in the length of their role, but in the depth of the mark they leave in the hearts of the public. Jerome Guardino as Sergeant Burke. In the diverse picture of Columbo, not everyone is the main stroke. Not everyone is the prominent color that makes an impression at first sight. Are people actors who are like quiet, unobtrusive background lines, but are indispensable to create depth and authenticity for the entire work. Jerome Guardino as Sergeant Burke is such a quiet but extremely important piece. At the age of 48, when wearing a military uniform, he brought to the character a mature appearance, a professional demeanor, and absolute reliability. Sergeant Burke is not the one who solves the case, but he is the embodiment of order, of the rules and procedures that an investigation must follow, creating a solid wall from which Lieutenant Columbo's unconventional talent and genius can shine. John Finnegan, sometimes known as J.P. Finnegan, made his name on the Columbo series. He was a close friend of director-actor John Cassavetes and appeared in 6 of his films. In addition to Columbo, he is also known for voicing the villain Warren T. Rat in the animated film An American Tale, 1986, and for playing Sam Simpson in The Natural, 1984, with Robert Redford. His life is a testament to perseverance and friendship in the entertainment industry. However, that artistic journey had to end. On July 29th, 2012, John Finnegan passed away at the age of 85 in Palm Desert, California, due to pneumonia. His departure left behind regrets, but his voice and roles will forever be in the hearts of audiences. Fred Draper, sung by David Morris. In Columbo, Fred Draper's role as David Morris is part of the complex story. Columbo must solve his performance at the age of 48 is calm and somewhat mysterious. Born in Pennsylvania, Fred Draper was an actor best known for John Cassavetes films, such as A Woman Under the Influence, 1974, and Faces, 1968. He was married twice and lived a relatively quiet life compared to his peers. He was an artist who quietly devoted himself to playing tough, psychologically profound roles. However, his journey on Earth was over. On December 26, 1999, Fred Draper passed away at the age of 76 in San Bernardino, California, due to natural causes. He left behind thoughtful roles for movie lovers. Vito Scotti as maitre d' restaurant manager. In Columbo, Vito Scotti's role as a restaurant manager brings a distinctly Italian air, both charming and humorous. With a wealth of acting experience at the age of 53, he turned a small role into an interesting highlight. Born and raised in Brooklyn, New York, Jerome Guardino has the diligence and practicality of this land. His career is not a path filled with roses, leading to the pinnacle of fame, but a journey of persistent and quiet artistic labor. What is special about him is that Guardino is not only an actor, but also a talented assistant director. He not only lives in front of the camera, but also contributes to creating the footage from behind the scenes. This gives his acting a measure and deep understanding. He knows what he needs to do, where to stand, and how to express himself to best serve that overall scene. Before Columbo, the audience was familiar with him through the classic sitcom series Car 54, Where Are You?, where he also often played the role of law enforcement officers. It seems that fate has attached him to the image of discipline and order, was married twice, and kept a low profile, suggesting he was a family man who found peace away from the limelight. In terms of assets, Jerome Guardino's greatest legacy is not the numbers in his bank account, but a career spanning nearly 7 decades, an example of dedication and professionalism. He was a hard worker on the set, who was there when called upon, and always did his job well, whether he was a leading or supporting role. His life spanned nearly a century, a period long enough to witness the entire transformation of Hollywood from the golden age to the digital age. However, time seemed to have only turned his hair gray, but not his love for the art. That journey finally stopped on January 4th, 2020, when he passed away peacefully at the age of 96, due to natural causes. Having lived for almost a century, Jerome Guardino was not just an actor of Columbo, he became a witness of time, a man who saw great stars rise and fall, but who himself remained there steadfast and steadfast. His departure closes Chapter 1, a generation of devoted supporting actors whose names may not be celebrated, but whose contributions are indispensable foundations for the immortality of classic works. Jack Cassidy, Chung-Vai Ken Franklin. In Columbo, the writer Ken Franklin is a smart, arrogant, and charismatic killer. Jack Cassidy, then 44, hauntingly plays the equal-matched Lieutenant Columbo,